Yes, sir. What's up, good people? It's your boy, the boy, Henry Heck, back at it again with another video. And today we are talking Concord yet again. Yet again. And the conversation has circled back around to the look of the characters. You know, there was a back and forth, a brief back and forth with one of the artists who worked on the game and some randos on the timeline speaking to how they should change the design of the characters because they're not appealing, you know. Though I do agree that most of the characters are not appealing, it's just not realistic to expect them to just change all the characters. It's not realistic, you know what I mean? And the look of the characters can be tweaked to a degree, in my opinion, through outfits and cosmetics. You know, there'll be rare and, you know, different levels of cosmetic outfits. They've said there'll be plenty to earn. So, you know, with the conversation circling so much around the visuals of these characters, I think they have taken notice to it. There's really no choice but to take notice to it. That's mostly what people are talking about as far as the game, aside from the low player count on Steam, which we'll talk about another time. But if it's one thing that, you know, speaking as far as characters, if it's one thing that, you know, Apex and Valorant and Overwatch did, was they made it a point to design cool characters, you know, because like I said, to one degree, folk will gravitate, and even me, gravitate toward which character they think looks the coolest. I'm guilty of that, and a lot of the times the character that I think looks the coolest that I play with initially is not always the character that I end up like main. You know, I'll tend to probably move on to pick a character who the abilities I like more or aligns more with, you know, my natural play style. You know, it just so happened to work out that I think, you know, Roka does look cool and Starchild look cool. You know, it just so happened to work out, you know. But I did end up trying other characters. Empress, whose play style is, and I don't even usually play like SMG harass type characters. I don't usually play those type of characters in these styles of games, you know. But it was fun. It was cool. But with so much of the conversation being centered around this one key aspect, I think that they could take a lesson from the former mentioned Valorant, Overwatch, because all the characters do look fucking cool, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless of pronoun situation. The characters look cool, and they let the abilities and character design speak for itself. Before, you know, we didn't know the sexual orientation of specific characters. You know, even in Apex, initially we didn't know who was laying with who or what they was doing in their bedroom, which ultimately, to be honest, don't fucking matter. It don't fucking matter. But in this day and age, game companies are making it a point to let us know what these fictional characters do in their leisure time, you know. So I think they would have been better off not highlighting certain things, especially in a new game where most people that play this probably gonna be of a specific orientation. You know, we've seen people try to pivot and appease certain demographics, and it just ain't work out too well. You know, and I get this what you want to do. This is something that's important to you. I get all that, but in my opinion, if it comes to the detriment of the success of your game, then what was it all for? It just ended up being a big waste of time, big waste of resources. You could have been working on something else. You could have been working on another game, and whatever, you know. But I still think that even though the character designs aren't as, and of course this is subjective. Of course, it's subjective. I was talking to an individual about it, and you know, They made sure to point out that of course it's subjective, but if majority of the people talking about it don't find it to be appealing, then at that point it's something that should be talked about. You know what I mean? And it also could just be an excuse. It could just be something that people are latching on to because they, for whatever reason, don't want to play the game. They feel as though the hero shooter genre is oversaturated, even though there are subtypes within the hero shooter genre. Overwatch don't play like Valorant. Valorant don't play like Apex. You know what I mean? It's different sub-genres within it. And even Marvel Rivals. If anything, Marvel Rivals and Overwatch and Paladin. You know, that's pretty much the copy and paste of Overwatch spread throughout. That's so you got that locked in together. Funny enough, people ain't really having those conversations about Marvel Rivals after this past beta, but whatever, it is what it is. So as I was saying, they could just be using it as an excuse to downplay the game for whatever reason. So I don't really understand, to be honest with you, man. If you don't like it, you can not like it, but it's people are making it a point to go on a promotional run to let everybody know that they don't like it, to let everybody know that it's a failure, to let everybody know it's DOA, to let everybody know it's woke and, you know, a vehicle for certain messaging and whatnot, to which I don't necessarily agree with. You know, just because the characters don't look a certain way doesn't mean they trying to get off some agenda. This could just be the design they felt like. Sometimes I draw some bullshit and I think it's cool. So for all we know, they was in there just coming up with stuff and they thought it was cool and it was what it was. And then Bungie came along and said, hey, throw these pronouns in. Because Bungie is pro now, which it's no secret, you know, and of course these games have to go past Bungie's little inspection, you know, so more than likely they were like, man, they were like, hey, you got to toss this in here. And the devs were more than likely, they was like, all right, whatever. You know, because a lot of people don't see an issue with it, you know. But back to what I was saying is, like, sometimes I draw some stuff. Everybody else may not think it's cool. It's a little cool to me, so they probably just been getting their stuff off, and they're like, you know what, this look cool. I'ma just do this. And then people were like, all right, we're fine. Because graphically it looked good, facial animations look good, so they probably didn't think too deep about it, you know, even though I don't see how they wouldn't. Especially, like I said, you in the realm of where you at, you not doing this the best. You know what I'm saying? And like I previously said, a character don't gotta be attractive to look cool. You can have an unattractive character that still look cool. You know, character design is not just about would I bust this character down. You know what I'm saying? Will I invite this character back to my spot on the late night? You know, that's I don't want to come off as though I feel like it need to be fan service. It don't necessarily need to be fan service. Every female character don't have to be running around here looking like a 2B or Eve. You know, they don't have to be cheeked up. You know, tights on Lululemons, yoga pants. They don't have to be all that. You know, they don't have to be super busty. But the armor gotta look cool. You know, throw some cool accessories on. You know, they just look kind of generic and uninspired, but also at the same time expecting them to just jump back and revise the designs of these characters that they've already laid out pretty much. These are the characters. This is how they look. And the only way they'll probably be altered is through outfits. Now moving forward, they've said we're gonna get new free runners. I don't know how designed they are already, but I'm pretty sure they're taking these criticisms into account, and we'll have to see. You know, depending on how the newer free gunners look, that's gonna tell us all we need to know about whether they just say, "F y'all, this is how we doing it," or you know what, we gonna try to make them look a little more cool. We gonna try to make them look a little more appealing. You know what I'm saying? We hear you, type of deal. You know, but that's all I got for right now. I will catch y'all in the next one. I'm gone.